Well, hello everyone, and we are back. The Real Cine-Files here. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mike.
And we are so glad to be with you once again. And we're so excited to get into some of the stuff that we have here. It's October. It's getting closer and closer to Halloween. And we're getting in the spirit. Hopefully it's the right spirit of things. And so this is a horror-themed episode. We're going to stay in that same kind of vein. It's a season of suspense. It's a season of thrillers. It's a season of scare. We're having a great year for horror. There's been a lot of horror this year. We've seen a lot of horror.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of it. Not everything was a hit. There were some misses, but I like to see horror getting its airtime, getting its screen time, you know?
That's pretty much all we've been watching.
It is. You guys might question our sensibilities, among other things, if you saw our history. But yeah, we actually saw a lot of horror movies in theaters this year, didn't we?
Yeah.
I tell you what, we're going to get to what I'm assuming that you're probably here for, which is the Smile 2 discussion. Oh my gosh, we just came from seeing it, and it's incredible. We're going to get into that in just a minute. But before I do, just a couple of things, couple of news items. And I wanted to kind of make you aware, Mike and I've already talked about it. I don't really know what he thinks about it or what he feels. He definitely doesn't believe that it's possible. But I thought, with it being a Halloween episode, a horror episode, that I should just randomly scare him. Jump scare. The movie we just came from is like riddled with jump scares. It's, oh man, and they're good. They're not just like the horror critics that say, oh, that's just poor story. All they did is rely on jump scares. No, this movie, Smile 2 had story and suspense jump scares, but they were like jump scares on crack, don't you think?
Yeah.
Especially seeing it in Dolby. But anyway, we just came from a movie that was full of it. It's horror. This episode's themed horror. I just thought it would be a cool little surprise. The surprise for Mike is a surprise. It's trick or treat. Trick on him, treat for you to watch if I'm successful.
Well, good luck jump scaring me.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, it'll come when you least expect it. Oh, see, that was... Okay, if that's how it's going to go, I'm probably not going to be successful. So, anyway, I'll leave that where it is. But, it's Halloween, and it's one of those things where I know we talked about this briefly before, but I just, when I was younger, not that much younger, but younger nonetheless, me and my friends, my best friend, really, not everybody was on board with this. We would look for ways to scare us, being in the Halloween season, the October, the season, the smell in the air, the feeling in the air. We would look for ways to terrify ourselves, Yeah. Like we used to do Armstead Park on Thomasville Road. We went down there, and it's I didn't know anything about it till my friend told me about it. And we would leave from seeing Halloween 1978, the original, the John Carpenter classic masterpiece. We'd see it. It was traditional, and we saw it more than once. Probably not a good idea. Multiple times in October, and then we'd leave that and go in that spirit. And I don't know who does this, but we're maybe we'll see some kind of Michael Myers figure or trick our minds into thinking that we do when we go into this park where there's no lights at all. And it was scary as hell. But we're we go there, and we I know this is probably weird too. We bought the score soundtrack for Halloween.
It was on cassette tape or something?
Well, I'm not that old, Mike. Yeah, y'all saw that. He's trying to knock me.
A Walkman? You know what I'm saying? You was born in the 80s, right?
I had a Walkman too, but don't judge. Don't make fun of me for that.
You was probably a teenager, so y'all probably had CD players.
Thank you. Yes, we had, as they call them, compact disc players, Mike. Yes, and I didn't always get the best ones. I got the anti-shock disc player later. Those ones where if you move it even a little bit, it just CD skips. Oh, you don't even know about CDs, man. You've been in the digital age.
No, I know about born in the 90s, man.
That's right. I forgot. Okay. Ooh, there's not that much separation between us. But anyway, I found it in Sam Goody. Do you even remember Sam Goody?
No.
Oh my God, man, there was a Sam Goody. Anyway, I don't want to get up. They had cool Halloween stuff in Sam Goody
It
for
sound good, like
one.
Best Buy or something?
I mean, kinda, yeah. No, they didn't sell like devices and stuff, but they
Okay.
sold videos. I mean, DVDs, CDs, and then like apparel, like shirts and
Okay.
different random things, action figures. Like it was all music and entertainment store basically. But that's where I found, like I struck gold. I found the Halloween soundtrack. You know, those little like keys, those 3 notes or whatever, are like just so scary sometimes. But we would put that on and drive to Armstead Park and then play it. And then, I mean, we also went down like Centerville Road and Miccosukee Road, the really like thin 2-lane part,
Yeah.
and we would play it. Those roads are already dark, not many street lights.
Yeah.
And then we do a little bit more. We turn the headlights off, which is really stupid and destructive. It's like, are you trying to scare yourself or are you trying to kill yourself? Like there's 2 different things there. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff we did. I mean, it's Halloween. We do crazy stuff. I probably need something like that nowadays to get kind of jolt my life a
So
little
you're
bit.
like a adrenaline junkie.
I guess so. Yeah. Just like kind of like the whole jumping off a roof with the trash bag thing. And you said one time you did that. You did that too?
Jumping off a roof with a trash bag. What?
Last time I brought that up, you said that, and I thought you must have misheard me.
Yeah. I mean, not with a trash bag. I just jump off the roof.
Oh, jumped off the roof. So you were like a real tough dude about it.
Yeah, we ain't putting no bags down. We just jumped off the roof.
When I was testing the like physics and like gravity and seeing if the trash bag would act as a parachute.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
You know,
Of course.
When you're kids, you're bored. You just come up with stuff.
That's true. You got to be creative.
Yeah.
Like these kids these days, they're so spoiled. That's not what you came here for. It's not a podcast about that, folks. I know.
They don't go outside.
They don't go outside at all. They stay on the phone. They're on the screens. They're doing stuff like that. They're doing really high end, technology and entertainment that way.
Yeah, fake stuff.
Yeah. I had like sticks and ropes and all that, but whatever. You could do some really creative and cool stuff with, I feel like those days are, they're very underrated. Anyway, what I was saying was we did weird stuff like that, and you did as well, but I guess I was an adrenaline junkie, you could say. But anyway, it's Halloween. Like, we're super stoked about it. Before we go any further, we're about to get into Smile 2. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, especially if you like what you're seeing and you want to support us. We know we've been kind of off with the content and the episodes. I had surgery. I was sick before that. We had some stuff too. Like, Mike been working really hard, and he had to take a little time off as well. So we had a lot of circumstances, and we just, haven't been able to do it, but we're back, and we are going to bring episodes, Lord willing, regularly.
Yeah.
And so we would love your support and to subscribe. We may not always be talking about something that you'll absolutely love, but you probably will find something in our episodes that you could relate to or get some delight out of, or maybe just entertainment over how foolish and silly I can be. That's a sure guaranteed thing to happen almost every episode. And Mike will silently, quietly not nod, but agree in his head. Anyway. So before I get into Smile 2, I just got to go over one bit of news and we'll get into some more. I think I told you this, but I'm not sure. One of our favorite horror movies, not just recent, it's on our recent and all-time recommendation list, isn't it?
Yeah.
It follows. It follows. Listen, I found out It Follows. I mean, brilliant masterpiece, horror masterpiece. David Robert Mitchell, the brains and the spirit behind that. He is bringing us another Follows. It's called They Follow. They Follow, and I think they're starting production in 25, and it will be released sometime either into 25 or 26. Probably 26, more realistically.
So when they say They Follow, do we have more than one?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know yet. And honestly, I hope they don't reveal too much about it. But it kind of in the title gives me the feeling, it kind of gives the indication that maybe this thing, this entity, this malevolent thing, like, has found a way to possess more than one person. We still don't even know what it is. But the fact that it's a freaking it, makes it so scary, you know? And they,
It moves
I
so
mean,
slow though.
yeah, it does move very slow. And that's going to be a part of our scenarios portion because I got a question about that, Mike. We're going to talk about that. So I just want to let you guys know about that. And Smile 2, we're about to jump in right now. But let me say this last thing. I forgot about the like and subscribe thing. Please hit the bell notification as well. That way you will get alerts. You'll get notifications when we put new videos out, new content, new posts on community posts on YouTube. And don't forget, we are also on Spotify. We're trying to build our base there, our audience on Spotify. Not too many people have I think, checked it out yet. But if you're a person who can't always watch a video and you like the value of an audio podcast on the go, check it out. And we're going to update you on things through our different socials. We're on Facebook and TikTok and whatnot. And also, before I forget, getting all this business stuff out of the way, we are also going to be doing some live streaming. We are finally set up for that. We are excited to be able to do that. We're going to do it soon. We'll let you know. We'll schedule an event on Facebook. We'll post on community posts on YouTube, but it'll give us a chance to engage with you. Comment back if you comment, and challenge us when it comes to the 6 degrees of cinematic celebrities. I've yet to be stumped. He might try it again this episode. I doubt it's going to happen. But we will be doing live streaming, which we're super excited about. And we know it's going to be huge. And when I say huge, I mean the first one, Mike. It's going to be killer because we're going to get on here. We're going to get so hyped, and we're going to have one person. But I'm going to tell you right now, we are going to play the hell out of that episode with that one person. We're going to have the best triple-way conversation, 3-way conversation with that person. Let me tell you. I'm just kidding. We'll have more than one, hopefully, if you can put up with this for very long. I can't even put up with this, and yet I continue, Anyway. So, Smile 2. Oh, my gosh. And connected to They Follow coming out in 25 or 26, and it being the same director, I love the fact that it's David Robert Mitchell for both of those. And I love the fact that in Smile 2, we have the same thing. Too often we've seen horror sequels, if they don't suck completely, they're just not as good. They're not as quality. The tone doesn't feel quite right. The vibe doesn't feel quite right. Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven, the first one.
That's like your favorite movie. What is it called? The vampire movie. Salem's Lot 2. That was your favorite movie, right?
Oh, my God. Oh, that was terrible. Close the lid before I burn. Every time that's said, I can't help it. I don't know. Yeah, Salem's Lot 2 is Return to Salem's Lot. We thought for sure after the 1975 Salem's Lot Stephen King adaptation that, surely the sequel was going to be good, but it was horrid. It was terrible. I mean, we'll dedicate a whole episode to making fun of horrible, low-budget horror sequels. But yeah, like you had that happen with multiple things. What was it? That one, and then there was another one where the sequel was someone else. Oh yeah, Halloween, John Carpenter, the first one, and then it was other people, and they weren't all terrible, but it's just not the same. That's why Nightmare on Elm Street 1. I mean, the other ones are good too. You pick and choose, but the first one stands alone as great. Same thing with 1978 Halloween. They stand alone as great.
Yeah.
But it's something to be said about these directors staying with it and creating a universe. Now, we live in a world of universes now. People create these different universes. You've got the Walking Dead universe, they're creating a Stephen King universe. You got the Monsterverse. I mean, we're creating all these universes, and I love it because some of the same creative powers, some of the same creative prowess is going to stay at work.
So the person that created The Conjuring, are they the same one that's writing the whole universe? Because some of those movies suck.
Yeah, they're not. I don't agree that they all sucked, but they weren't all as good as the first one. I enjoyed the second one. I don't know how much...
it was 3 on 1.
Yeah, there was 3 of them, and
Annabelle was trash.
I believe James Wan was involved in it. But actually, I have a thing here for that real quick. It was no, I didn't put it on there. The original 2013 Conjuring.
That was Pete.
Huh? Oh, it was amazing. It was incredible. I'm trying to think of who it was. It's escaping me right now. But yeah, there is something about when these creators, they stay with it.
Yeah.
And they're a part of the universe. They're at least contributing some influence, some writing, some sway on the direction that these movies go. And I know that you and I feel the same way about that.
Yeah.
But that's what's great. Parker Finn, the writer and director of this movie, Smile 2, he's I don't know. There's clearly going to be a Smile 3, which we're going to get into. But I'll give you this. We are going to have spoilers in this conversation. We're not there yet. I will give you a fair spoiler warning. But I decided I would write a recapitulation, if you will. That word, I like saying it. It just sounds funny in my head and the microphone. Anyway, I'm going to give you the summary, the synopsis. And this is a spoiler-free synopsis. So I'm going to just read it to you to kind of give you an idea of what this movie is about. I'll tell you this. It follows directly after the second one. The second one follows after the second one. Follows after the first one. But it's directly after. And the first one was cutting edge. The truth is, this universe, the Smile universe, it's big. I believe the truth is that this is probably the most popular horror franchise within the past 10 years. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And so they've created something great here, and they can go anywhere they want with it from here. But the first one was so great. Sosie Bacon, Dr. Rose Cotter, she was incredible in it. I mean, that girl can act. I think you just found out for the first time that she was Kevin Bacon and Keira Sedgwick's daughter. Yeah. Yeah, and you can see it too, the favor of
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, got the Kevin Bacon features, but the softening of Keira.
She played that part.
She did. She's a pretty girl too, beautiful girl. But we're gonna talk about the real beautiful girl here in a second. She's so pretty. Let me tell you, this was a great movie. So. Parker Finn, writer and director of the second one, just like the first one, stars Naomi Scott, Lucas Gage, Raul Castillo, Rosemary DeWitt, and the girl that you didn't care too much for. She did good. We're going to talk about her in a minute. But Dylan Galula or Dylan Jalula, I don't want to butcher it. She was in it as well. So there's a lot of great actors in it. A lot of great cast. But I'm going to give you the synopsis right now. Okay. Picking up 6 days after the events of the first film, the malevolent entity that had already plagued countless souls continued its fear-induced terror and destruction, possessing Joel's life, the cop friend of Dr. Rose Cotter from the first film. It had jumped through host after host, feeding off of fear until through a sideways set of circumstances, it ended up finding its new residence in the life of a global pop star named Sky Riley, who was a perfectly conditioned new target or victim, ripe with fresh trauma and fear, and riddled with guilt over an incident that had happened only 1 year ago. The stakes would be bigger as the aim seemed higher for this Smile demon. The torments, tricks, and deceptions would be far greater in this story, as Sky would suffer through many of them far worse than what was witnessed in the first film, as she sought a way out, while the entity had designs on a way up. What would be the end of such a sinister-driven quagmire of a situation? And would it be something to smile about? You'll have to see for yourself. Anyway, let's talk about it, Mike. What did you think?
It was an excellent film. I give it a 9 out of 10.
And you and I are on the same page. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. And I'm going to say this real quick, because it's getting good critical reception. It's not bad, but I kind of take issue with hearing people say things about there being, it being good and creative and better in some ways, but the redundancy of, it's still being the same formula or pattern. But that's garbage, because I don't even think it's the same, though the tormenting is the same, though the concept stays the same, where this thing feeds off of fear until it finally takes you over.
Yeah.
But the way that it terrorized in this film seemed way more amped up.
Yeah.
And Go ahead.
I mean, I guess people never heard of Back to the Future because all of them were the same movies, but they were perfect.
Yes.
I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Patterns and formulas aren't a bad thing all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if you can do different iterations of it, do a spin on it, try and manifest what you've done before, but in a different way.
Yeah. And that's what this was.
And it's absolutely what it was. And I was so excited about it, man. I mean, because, you think the jump scares were bad in the first one, dude, the second one, man.
Yeah. Those times 10.
Yeah. And would you not agree? I mean, it would be you and I are on the same page that it's going to be good to experience no matter what theater you see it in, right? But would you not recommend Dolby?
Dolby.
If you're where a Dolby theater is or an IMAX, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor or do yourself a trauma favor because you're going to be traumatized by the jump scares and go see it in Dolby or IMAX. I prefer Dolby for different nuanced reasons, just the sound and
yeah, the sound
my
is
gosh.
off the chain. You remember when the guy took the weight and started hitting himself?
Oh my gosh.
And you hear the sound in the theater and the kind of the shaking and stuff.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I mean, even the different, the highs and the mids and the different details of each sound each sound was in a different register and it picked up on all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so good, man. So good. And so Dolby, see it in Dolby. And the picture was incredible. I will say this. I know we talked briefly about this before, but man, the cinematography of this film, unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yes.
I don't know. I know that he's a big part of it, but just the stuff that he did with the camera, I mean, unbelievable. Whoever his director of photography is, his cinematographer, they need a big old pat on the back, let me tell you. But it was incredible. I loved the upside down thing.
Yeah.
And did you notice when you saw the first scene, when the blood streak,
yeah,
how it was upside down when it showed smile on the screen?
Yeah, it was a frown.
And then there was something to the upside down thing, right?
Yeah, because you remember in that one scene when the drug dealer killed himself?
Yeah.
That's when you see the second upside down. So that means her world's about to be flipped upside down.
Yep.
I'm assuming that's what that meant.
That was brilliant how he put that in there. I bet some people missed that.
Yeah.
I definitely think the critics who want to give it a hard time missed that. That was some brilliant filmmaking for sure.
Some people are just negative Nancy's.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's their job. They get paid to try and pick things apart, and anybody can, But if we spend so much time, don't get me wrong, I'll rag something. I'll rag the hell out of something. But man, if we spend so much time investing our energy and effort into tearing something down or being negative about something, it's just not worth it. Life's too short to do that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I say that, and I walk right out of here and tell somebody off. I'm such a contradiction. I'm just kidding.
Can't stand the Buzz Killington.
Buzz Killington. That's great. I love it. Oh man. But yeah, so it was just really, really captivating. I give it a 9 out of 10. The video work was really, really incredible. The camera tricks, the camera work, it was phenomenal. Picture was crisp. The jump scares, I mean, some of these, you gotta be really good at jump scares to get you good.
Yeah.
And there were some in this movie that, oh my God, dude, I did not see it coming. It really, I mean, I think I cussed out loud one time. You probably heard it, but man, I'm telling you, it was so, oh man, one of them, the phone one where she was on the phone.
And because she got the video from the unknown number.
Yes.
And she was looking in the camera. And out of nowhere, somebody was right beside her.
Oh my gosh! And it was so loud on that one too. There were a couple that really got me. The jump scares were great. Jump scares on crack, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the mirror one got me.
Oh my God!
When she was in the dressing room and she was seeing her drug dealer and she was moving to the side.
Oh my gosh! The drug dealer. Oh, that was.
And then out of nowhere, he put her fingers in her mouth and made her smile.
Yeah, it was so loud too, wasn't it? Oh my gosh! And we hadn't gotten into real spoilers yet, so y'all stay with us. I'm gonna let you know here in a minute, but. And the other part where, well, you know what? I'm gonna save this jump scare question in a second for spoilers. I don't want to give this away because it would give something away. Let me just say this: 9 out of 10. Totally recommend it. See the first one first, though. If you haven't seen the first one, please see it. It's really good. So say a couple more things, and then we're going to get into we'll get into the spoilers. Let me just say this. Okay. I don't want to. This one felt scarier than the first movie. Did it to you?
Yeah.
Like, not just the jump scares, but the terror of it.
Yeah.
Didn't it feel like this entity, this, what are we calling it? This troll demon? Smile
We
demon?
don't call him the smile demon, but he is a troll.
He's a straight troll. Listen,
troll.
this thing, and it feeds off of torment and trolling you, and like, I'm talking about playing on your mind,
Yeah.
making you think you're in control when you're not.
Yeah.
The strategy. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so yeah, this one's scarier, definitely scarier, and definitely different. There were 100% there were nuanced differences from the first. It was not repetitive or redundant to me at all. If the pattern thing or formula of it bothers you, then, and if you're just trying to like see this thing get vanquished, lickety split, then maybe this franchise isn't for you. You know, that would be.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody was hoping. Like, you
Yeah.
know, she was gonna win.
And you're rooting for that too.
Yeah.
You know, and but then you get to the point where you're like, I mean, the whole, like, it definitely does the thing where, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I'm going to try not to at first, but we may be, you know, stepping into spoilers here, spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're not a glutton for spoilers or one of those strange people that likes to have everything spoiled, I don't get that. I don't get you, man. But
I'm one of those people.
he's my co-host, man. Oh, that's why we blend well, because yin and yang, we balance each other out. But like, so spoiler warning officially right now. Spoiler alert. I'll put something on the screen. You'll see it. This is the thing. It really does the judging what people deserve in this. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And this is all about trauma core for sure.
Yeah.
And it's it's kind of funny because, you know, the theme of this episode is Halloween and horror, but it's kind of also trauma theme because, you know, we're going to get into the trauma stories that I've told you a little bit about. So it's kind of funny how it connects with this movie, but it's definitely all about trauma. You know, trauma is the big buzzword of the day. But I know trauma is real, but it's an overplayed word for sure. But it's funny every time I hear it, and especially when I have to use it legitimately. But, you know, this thing needs trauma. It works well with trauma.
Yeah.
But it does I noticed with this film that it does the judging what people deserve thing. Like, obviously, it reveals, this is a big spoiler, that, you know, she was hiding the fact that in the end it showed she was the one responsible for the wreck.
Yeah.
So let me say this. We're going to go from the beginning and we'll make this condensed. But this, you know, pop star ended up having the smile demon come to her through her drug dealer. Because she had an accident, what was it, a year prior?
Yeah.
She had an accident a year prior, injured her leg, injured her back, major surgery, a lot of pain. And so you flash forward a year later, and she's trying to get back and get ready for this global tour. And, you know, she hurts herself in rehearsal.
Yeah.
And she goes to see the drug dealer, and that's when it happens.
Well, she was trying to get Vicodin?
Yeah, Vicodin from him. And, I mean, he's wigging out, man. He is wigging out.
I mean, I would have been out of that as soon as he hit that coke. I would have been like, I'm out.
Yeah, that was a funny part, too. He's like, that was like, I don't remember what he said, but that was really funny when that happened. But so, you know, it gets on her, and so she's the perfect target. And you start seeing these different things happening, and it keeps flashing little pieces. It shows the actor that was with her in the car that died.
Yeah.
And that she survived. It shows him. He sees, you know, his ghost, so to speak, the smile demon, you know, showing him, and then you see flashes of the wreck, bits and pieces of it. And then it finally shows the whole thing because I mean, that was some really great acting. Let me just say the performances in this movie were phenomenal. One person, Mike, feels it leaves something to be desired, but I tried to tell him, Dylan Galula or Jalula, I want to pronounce it right, she has a deadpan kind of acting style and performance.
We're gonna call her Goof Troop.
Goof Troop. Okay,
Goof Troop.
I can go with that. I mean, she's an attractive lady, and she plays good part. She plays good part. She's been in a few horror movies. She was in a movie called Shithouse. You know, Cooper Rafe, and an up and coming filmmaker. He did Shithouse and Cha Cha Real Smooth, an Apple movie. Listen, she was in that Shithouse movie, and she was really good. But I learned there that she's got that style, like, yeah, nah, yeah. Like when she comes in, she's like, I made matcha.
This supposed to be serious. You just
I know.
too goofy, man. Like
she was like typical like today, Gen Z-ish, with that like talking deadpan with that like California drawl, you know.
California.
Yeah, and anyway, she was kind of typical to me, but she, anyway, the performances were really good, and hers were okay. They weren't terrible. But phenomenal. Naomi Scott, I'd never seen her before, but she expressed every gamut of emotion that needed to be seen in this movie.
Yes.
She did it so well. She committed for sure. Lucas Gage, and he was in a lot of the movie, even though he died early in it. He was in it, as the demon throughout it a lot, but he was amazing. So I want to hit on this, and then we'll go, act 1, 2, and 3. It did the judge what you deserve thing, because when it finally revealed that she was the reason that they got in the wreck, because they're getting in that just shout your head off at each other, like shouting match and fight, going pretty dang fast. They're hitting coke bumps along the way, hitting bumps of cocaine along the way. And so obviously just speed up. And then, he's like, he finally just can't take it anymore. You're crazy. You're a psycho, bitch. And she goes, I'll show you crazy, right? Or she asked, I'll show you psycho.
Yeah, and she grabbed the wheel.
And she grabs
well, first she started hitting him.
Oh, yeah, she's hitting
him. It was like, stop. I'm driving. Stop. And then she just grabbed the wheel, and she
grabs the wheel, and they just dart through the guardrail, off the edge of the cliff, and they end up like in a tree.
Yeah.
Right into a tree. He's dead. And oh my God,
and she's suffering.
She's suffering bad. And her crying and snotting there, it was unbelievable. I felt it. It made me uncomfortable. It was so good.
Yeah, that performance was good.
And it was great. But what it did is, when you thought that she might die, and we're going to get to how it is, and she even accepts it, and makes the tough decision to try the thing.
Master Troll.
Oh, Master Troll. We're going to talk about it in 1 second. It does it wants you to accept that, well, she deserves to die. And I don't really, and maybe I don't know that we can really judge that she deserved to die, but it wants you to be okay with it by showing you what she did. Yeah. So it's like she caused his death, so she not only deserves all this torment, but to die in the end.
Yeah.
And, it's like, let's split the difference. Like, what makes it even? I don't know how we can judge whether it's even. It did that recently in that film, It's What's Inside.
Yeah.
It's like, it wants you to, and I didn't agree with that at all.
That sounds like some Saw type junk.
Yeah.
How Saw, he'd be like, you play the game, you can get your life back.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess so. In the end of this movie, It's What's Inside. Check it out on Netflix. New movie. Real different. The guy, he was a douche, and he was a cheater, and he was an asshole. Yeah. He wasn't a great person. And he didn't treat his girlfriend right, but she visits him in jail. And so the movie wants you to accept that justice for him is that he stays in jail and goes to prison and rots for murdering 2 people, which he didn't. So like, you're supposed to, but that's the culture we live in right now.
Yeah.
Like, you did this, so you deserve that. The harshest punishment ever. And all of social media is going to call for it. It's like, come on, man. I saw that. But anyway, let's go back to this beginning. So she gets tormented, and it's just, the beginning, it was one of the best opening scenes of any movie, any horror movie.
Yeah.
Would you not agree?
Yeah.
And one of the best scenes in the movie, even though the whole rest of the movie was fire, it was fire and gas, put them together. And the scene with the cop, with Joel,
Yeah.
because it starts out with Joel, as I said, 6 days after he watched Sosie Bacon, Dr. Rose Cotter's character. Sosie Bacon played Dr. Rose Cotter in the first one. She sets herself on fire. So he's the host.
Yeah.
So he finds these drug dealers, and you could tell what he's doing because there's only two ways. We find out, maybe it's really only one, but the movie makes
it's two.
It's two. There's two ways.
I know it now.
To get, and you're going to tell me about this. There's two ways to get rid of this thing, to vanquish this enemy. And the first one, it revealed in the first movie, and that is you have to kill someone in front of another person. This doesn't destroy it, it just gets it off of you.
Yeah.
So you have to be kind of a dick to do this, but you're going to pass it to somebody else. But the cop knew that. He didn't want to pass it to somebody that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
So he finds these two Russian gangsters, and you have to kill the person, and you got to make a show of it, make it messy. It's got to be traumatizing because this thing feeds off trauma and fear, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes in there, and it goes sideways with the drug dealers because they both end up dying, and these are the gangsters. The gangsters. The drug dealer is there to score.
Yeah.
The Russian gangsters are provide the drugs to this.
They the plug. They're
the plug. And Louis Fergoli, Lucas Gage's character, he's there to score.
Yeah.
And so he ends up, getting that. Unbeknownst to Joel, played by Kyle Gallner, he's like become an iconic horror guy. He's been in so many horror movies recently. He's just doing so great, and he nailed this role.
Yeah.
He nailed this role. He was in Strange Darling too. Phenomenal in that, right?
Yeah.
But he notices after the fact that this guy's there, and so it passes to him, and then him, as we told you, he passes it to Sky Riley, who has to go score more because she's starting her global tour and she's in too much pain.
Yeah.
And so then let's talk about what happens, because she gets terrorized, and then, she gets a text, right? She gets a text from this unknown number, and it knows that she was at the apartment. The person knows she was at the apartment.
Yeah.
And then it says at one point to try and get her, because she wouldn't respond, which, you shouldn't respond to an unknown number. I get it.
Yeah.
But when he finally says, I can help you, and said a couple other things, she agrees to meet him.
Yeah.
And that's when you find out that there's a theory that you can not just pass this thing, but vanquish it, kill it, destroy it.
So if you notice in that scene, I believe this was legit. In that scene, when she was talking to him, he said, we can do this now. Her phone kept ringing. It was her mom, then it was somebody else, and then it was somebody else. So I'm assuming the smile demon was trying to get her away from him because he figured it out. And also in that scene, when he said his brother ripped his jaw with a crowbar.
Yeah, and it showed that, by the way.
That's a reference to the first movie when Joel and Rose, when she told him to look up people that recently died by suicide.
Yeah.
It was somebody it was video they was watching. Somebody ripped their jaw with a crowbar.
Oh my gosh.
In the first movie.
So you caught a whole lot more details when you rewatched the first one and then seen the second one.
So I'm like, man, that's...
Yeah. Well, let me tell you my theory, okay? I don't know if I agree, but that could work. And let me tell you why I don't think that's it. All the continual calls, it's a good theory.
Yeah.
I think they're legit because she just came from that horrible experience where she basically WWE knocked this senior citizen lady off the stage and onto that table.
Well, I don't think that happened.
You don't think what happened?
I don't think that her knocking the lady off the table happened. A lot of that stuff, I don't believe happened. Pretty much like most of her days didn't happen. That's how bad she got trolled.
I think that happened. I think that happened because she was talking to her family at a certain point. Like, she was talking to, I don't remember who it was, but it's possible that whole thing was a troll too. But the guy, the doctor guy, the ER nurse,
Yeah.
he was a part of it too, I think. I don't think he was real. Because look, in the very end, because this is what happens, folks. This guy meets with Sky Riley and says, I can slow your heart down to the point that you can die, but then I'll bring you back. And then they when she finally gives in, when the terror and torment's too much, he found a place in a Pizza Hut cooler, because if you get the brain down to a certain temperature, you have longer to make sure that the demon is gone, and then he'll resuscitate her, bring her back.
Yeah.
And so that whole thing, I don't think he was a part of it at all. I think that, here's the thing, that thing latched onto her at that point. He had free reign to her as soon as she witnessed Lewis smash his face with that 45-pound weight.
Yeah.
And I believe that the Smile Demon, who obviously can use technology now and can text, sent those messages. And because when you saw the twist, the pull, when she's riding in the SUV with her friend driving,
Yeah.
and then come to find out she's driving the whole time,
Yeah.
and she thinks she's in the passenger side. I mean, all of that. And then she finally makes it to the thing to meet the guy. But I think that was a thing too, because if it wasn't him, if he wasn't it, then explain to me why he's just going to all of a sudden, right before the procedure, be like, he set her up, he's about to kill her to then bring her back. He's like, oh, I got to go get something real quick.
Oh, I mean, what I'm saying, that never happened, but I'm saying when they met up at the bar, that was truly him.
Okay.
But the end scene wasn't, because like I said, when he was giving her the details, her phone kept ringing. It was many people.
Okay.
It's like he was trying to get her away from him.
Wow.
Because he said, hey, we can do this now. So her phone just kept going off. And if she would have did it in that moment,
Yeah.
she would have lived. Because he said, if we don't do this now, you're going to die. So she had to do it in that moment to survive.
He knew it because he said to her that you're going to get to a place where you're not going to know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And you're going to think you're in control. So I back you on that.
Yeah.
But everything after that,
Yeah.
Straight-
was not real.
straight troll action. I mean, let me tell you. Golly. Listen, the movie was great. Let's get to how it goes. So she gets traumatized. It's crazy. I mean, incredible sequences. The choreographed, like the setup, the way that he used blocking to create some of these scenes was
Yeah.
incredible. That whole set piece where the entire dance group, all her dancers were there coming at her and
was
getting closer and
horrifying.
closer. And that insane fan, the Asian dude, like Asian Mr. Rogers, like who gets his shirt signed, he comes in, oh my gosh. And she comes in the apartment, she thinks that he came to a thing where an autograph signing, he signs the shirt, he gets all up there like, hey, we could be so great together. And then he leaves, and then she's getting a torment later that night, but she thinks it's him because he finds the shirt that she signed.
Yeah.
And then she sees a trail of his clothes down into the dark hallway, and then sees this naked ass Asian Mr. Rogers guy like standing in the hallway, buck naked. And I mean, dude, that was another jump scare that got me.
Yeah.
When he starts running after her, oh my God. But what was really great was seeing his whitey tighties with the skid marks. Wow. That was rich. Let me tell you. That dude really went. Smile Demon commits, man.
Yeah, man. Especially the little girl.
Oh, wow.
When
That
she
was
just
terrible.
smiling at her the whole time.
Didn't change it at all.
And then they was walking away, and she turned back and still was smiling at her.
That was so brutal. I was traumatized by that little girl. Golly. So, she goes through all these different torments, and they were great. Some were very original. You'd never seen it before. He doubled down on that aspect of it. And they were different. They were really creative. They felt bigger. The stakes felt bigger, for real. You could tell the
Yeah.
Smile Demon had cranked it up. The first one, it was incredible. It was cutting edge and revolutionary. Take nothing away from it. But it felt like the torment and the terror in it was just a little bit tamer and dialed down than in this.
Yeah.
You probably saw that when you saw it the second time, right? The first
Yeah.
one. But anyway, so it goes all the way. You find out that so there is a way to get rid of this smile demon. We think now you got to kill yourself. It's funny too, because when he first brings it to her, he's like, "You want me to kill myself?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, but here's the thing: you take too long, and you take too long. The hubris on her to think she was going to be able to accomplish it then,
Yeah.
that late in the game. So, she's down. She finally gets free. She grabs the syringe of the stuff, and the demon manifested like it did at the end of the first one.
Yeah, like it was hurt.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like it was hurt.
Like it was hurt. It comes at her, and then she sticks herself in the neck and says, "Ah, F you," and all, whatever. And then the smile demon just laughs at her. It was so bad.
Like, you think you in control?
Oh yeah, that's what he says. And then the whole thing is an illusion. The whole thing is a magic trick. A prestige, the turn happened. And then she's in this shell on stage at her concert. So this smile demon had designs on getting in front of her fan base the whole time.
Yeah.
That was the plan. She comes out. She's like, what in the world? Like, oh my God. She's freaking out, And then she's got that gold microphone. All her fans are there. They're freaking out. Next thing you know. And I thought this was brilliant art direction here. It was creative. When it shows the ultimate instant reaction experience I've ever seen. Talk about taking instant reaction videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like cranking it up to 100. All her audience, it just shows them reacting to what we're hearing. Just smash, smash, smash. Because we'd seen enough gore. Let me tell you, Smile 2 was gorier than the first. And it felt to me like it was in competition with, it couldn't compete with, nothing can compete with Terrifier, but it's like they knew Terrifier 3's out. It's kicking Joker 2's ass. And it's super gory. Joker 2, the real horror experience of October. Listen, if you see it in October, it's the real horror experience. I'm not going to get on that. But, he's like, they know that Smile, they just know that Terrifier is so gory. So
yeah,
that had to feed into them putting this much gore in it.
Yeah.
It was gory. But it didn't need to show it happen with her in the end.
Yeah.
It didn't. It just showed the aftermath. And the aftermath, folks, was that she had a golden microphone shoved into her face. But even with that, she still looked so pretty. I'm just kidding. Listen, was she not? She's gorgeous. Naomi Scott.
Oh, yeah.
An English actress. I'd never seen her before. I didn't see the remake or reboot of the Charlie's Angels. She was in that. And she was in Aladdin. She was Jasmine, I guess, in Aladdin. Did you see Aladdin? The live action? So take it you don't want to see Mufasa either. You didn't see Little Mermaid either?
No.
You didn't see Lion King? Listen, Lion King. I don't want to see that live action junk. I'm not going to get on Disney right now.
I grew up watching the animated.
The real ones.
Yeah.
The real ones. The ones that stand the test of time.
I mean, especially Aladdin. I mean, what's his name? That guy right there behind you that played the genie.
Oh, man. Robin Williams?
No
one can be that. I mean,
Yeah,
kudos to Will Smith, but you're no Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Genie. Anyway, listen, folks, we got to tell you, see Smile 2. Her fan base, it leaves it wide open. Leaves it wide open for a Smile 3. And the possibilities are endless, the direction you can go now that her entire fan base witnessed her do that to herself. So it leads you to believe that he's got more influence now. He's got more hosts.
So you think they're going to go with Smile 3 or you think they're going to do a prequel?
They could do either one.
Because I think when I watch Smile 1 again and the black guy, I think they might do a prequel with him.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, they could do either one, right?
Yeah.
I would be game for either one. I mean, 100%. 100% game for either one. So look, that concludes our Smile 2 portion. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go see the movie. Go see it in Dolby if you can. I guess one last thing. I said, can we just talk about the creepiness of smiling in general? I mean, Mike, it's creepy. I'm not talking about like a genuine smile. It's pleasant to see a smile. I get that. But, you know, some people smile too much. You know what I mean? It makes you wonder. That smiling in general is creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what you're dealing with. Sometimes you look at certain people, they smile all the time. You're like, what is that about? Like, that's why the smile concept works so well in horror. It's brilliant. Yeah, we know the difference between sinister smiling and like smiling, you know, but they can both be creepy. Both of them, you know, Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen.
I mean, come on, dude. Joel Osteen. Is he really like that all the time? It could be a genuine smile where he's like, man, I know how much money I'm getting in my mega
He
church.
might hit a blunt before he get up on stage.
I mean, who knows what he's doing? I mean, some of the exposure videos, the thing on the plane. I'm not trying to get into all that, but all I know is his smiling is creepy. You know, I used to do a killer Joel Osteen, by the way.
What'd he say? We come here today?
He goes, repeat after me. You know, he's not that Southern. He's not, is he? This is my Bible. I can do it. I'm not mocking or being blasphemous. I mean, I probably need more Jesus. Look, Joel Osteen's smile. Oh my gosh. It's just something. I don't know. It makes you wonder. Who'd you say was scarier?
Kenneth Copeland.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. We
saw what's behind that. He may have a smile demon. You know what I mean? Behind him. One exposure video, it's like he manifested a demon. I'm not trying to. This ain't about. We're trying to get on a prosperity preacher. We're not doing a little side segment about prosperity preachers. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you know. Actually, how about this? We're gonna put a donation button right there on the video. Why don't you sow a seed to the real Cine-Files? No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that, or would I? I might do that just to play around with editing stuff. No, I'm going to shut up. Anyway, Smile 2, moving on. We're going to just do a couple more things, and then we're going to call it quits. We got another episode coming right behind this. We promised you 2. You're going to get 2 this week. Sorry about the delay. We have a new setup, and post is a little bit different. Had a minor setback. Not going to talk about it. But it's all in the process of getting us ready to give you a better quality show, and also to have streaming capabilities, which we're excited about. You know, we've only had it's tough to do this production, Mike, when we only have 4 people helping us in the background. And, you know, those 4 people are me, myself, and I, and you. Like that, 4 people? Actually 5, because in my imagination, there is someone there, you know, behind the camera, directing us, you know, feeding me lines, trying to do me. I'm the ventriloquist dummy, and they're the ventriloquist. I mean, it would probably be better if there was someone doing that. But anyway, but no, we're actually.
You said dummy, I thought of Goosebumps.
Oh man, terrifying. Goosebumps was a great show.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, R.L. Stine. So anyway, we're getting used to it. All this is in the name of getting you something better and a better production. We want to widen our audience. We just got a couple more things. I have some news bits I want to share with you real quick. So I told you about They Follow coming out. I tell you what, it's been a great year for horror. I thought it would be fun to do the math on this, because I saw a lot of movies, probably way too many during my recovery, but I had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be fun to go look at my history and see how many films I saw, how many films we went and saw in theaters, and you and I saw quite a bit, you know, because we're, you know, reviewing movies and discussing movies. It's part of what we do. But, you know, I looked it up and I was like, man, this is wild, because I've seen 57 horror films this year so far.
Jesus.
That's Jesus is right. I try to need some more Jesus. Listen, man. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. But it does tell you that there's a lot of horror this year. I mean, it's such a great year for horror. Go see some of them. We got some recommendations we're going to share with you here in just a minute. But the crazy part is this. I saw so I saw personally, it's probably bad that I'm admitting this, 42 films in theaters this year so far, 42. and I don't even get paid to go review movies. That's probably bad. And 224 streaming. Now, let me tell you something, folks. That's something that you should be embarrassed about. That's something normally I would be embarrassed about, and I should be by all rights. But let me tell you, I just gave you numbers. 42 films in theaters, 224 streaming. Who knows? Maybe 30% of that, 50% was probably during surgery recovery. Who knows? And 57 films horror. You know what? That should be embarrassing. But it's not. Mike, I'm freaking proud of that number. You know what it means?
What?
It means confirmation of my lifeless existence. Yes, that's it. Or does it confirm the opposite? Does it confirm a life that is full? I mean, I'm of the belief, I'm of the philosophy that the problem in the world today is they need to go see more movies. Take a break from the other stuff. Take a break from TikTok, take a break from politics, take a break from the news, take a break from the judgments and everything else, and go watch a movie.
Yeah.
Reinvigorate your life.
A good movie.
A good movie. And we got some good movies to recommend. I've already recommended it, but if you have not seen Rebel Ridge, one of the best films released this year, not just on streaming, just this year, got to go see it.
And that's the one on Netflix, right?
Yes. Jeremy Saulnier. He did Green Room. He did Blue Ruin. Great director. He did one, it wasn't quite as good, but still very terrifying and disturbing, called Hold the Dark, with Alexander Skarsgård. Amazing. And Riley Keough, Elvis's granddaughter. He did that, but this movie's incredible. But it stars Aaron Pierre. He was the guy in Old.
Yeah.
He's incredible. Emery Cohen, Don Johnson, Dan Denman. I mean, the movie's great. Don't waste time. When you have time and you can really decompress this weekend, watch that movie. Please promise me you'll do it soon.
And was it Rebel Ridge?
Rebel Ridge on Netflix.
Yeah.
Got to see it. Big recommendation. That's not a horror one, but it's a big recommendation this year. I had to share that with you. I want to tell you guys about some upcoming films that you want to look out for. We got Sinners. Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther. Yeah. Sinners is coming out. Delroy Lindo is in it with Michael B. Jordan. It looks so scary. And it's set like in the 20s or 30s. Haley Steinfeld's in it as well.
Yeah.
It looks really good. We got a new Wolfman coming out. It comes out January 17th. Sinners comes out March 7th, by the way. These are 2025, next year. But not too far from here is Wolfman. A remake of Wolfman. Looks really good. It's got Julia Garner in it.
So what's the original Wolfman?
Well, there's been a few Wolfmans, just like there's been quite a few Invisible Mans. There's like the original ones from way back in the day. Like I don't even remember the original black and white one. It was so good. I still saw it too young, but there was that one. There was an American Werewolf in London. There was an American Werewolf in Paris. There was Monster Squad with the werewolf in it. There was Wolfman that came out in the early 2000s with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
That was really good. There was a wolf, I forgot what it was called, a short film that was on Disney, black and white.
Yeah.
Werewolf at Night, I believe. Y'all forgive me if I'm misquoting that. It's Werewolf at Night. It's so good. There's been a lot of iterations of the Wolfman concept.
So what's the Wolfman movie where the dude had a sister and he would handcuff himself to the tree at night and eventually she found out and she had to kill him?
Yeah, it was Wolfman with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins.
Okay,
yeah,
that's it.
Where his dad finds out he was a wolf too and he had to fight him.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was another one for what you're talking about. Oh, no.
He hang up himself.
The one you're talking about is...
This one's actually good. It was scary, too.
Yeah, I think you're talking about was the one with Emily Blunt in it, right?
Yeah, and I think the dog attacked him when he was in his werewolf form.
Yes, I can't remember the name of it. That was so good.
She pulled out the revolver
and
shot him. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a really good one. What was the
good.
name of it? Brandon, you're failing.
I was truly terrified. That thing was, man.
What happened here? Oh, I got this. Technical difficulty, folks. Yes. Anyway, Wolfman's coming out, and the great thing about it is it's Lee Whalen. Lee Whalen did The Invisible Man in 2020, which if you guys haven't seen Invisible Man, we've already given you 2 recommendations. It Follows, and this is 2. Invisible Man 2020. Recent horror recommendations. Gotta see it. One of the best versions of The Invisible Man I've ever seen. It's so good.
So what this on?
I don't know. You could definitely find it on Prime Video, or you can find it on the app.
Okay, I got Prime Video.
Yeah, so I think it's on there. I don't remember where else it is, but it's actually on a couple of streaming platforms right now. But you got to see it. That's high on the list.
Okay.
But that's why I have hope for this Wolfman. I think it's going to be good. And they dropped the newest trailer of it at the beginning of Smile 2. You missed the trailer.
Oh, they're making a new Invisible Man?
No. The trailer for the new Wolfman is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The guy who made, I'm sorry, I'm getting all over the place. The person who made the 2020 Invisible Man is the one that's behind directing the new Wolfman.
Okay.
That's why I think it's going to be good. So much horror, folks. That's why I wanted to let you guys know about it. Also, Companion comes out January 10th with Jack Quaid, Dennis Quaid's son, Huey from The Boys, and Sophie Thatcher. Lucas Gage is in that as well. The trailer, I love horror films where the trailer just shows you enough to know that this is deeply disturbing and not enough to know what's happening.
Yeah, like that one movie that was giving too much away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was just terrible. Why did they do that?
They showed that trailer?
Show what trailer?
The one with the AI in the house.
No, they didn't. They didn't show it. Show it when?
I'm talking about at the movies. Did they show it? You remember that movie with the AI with the kids?
Yeah, they wouldn't have shown it at the movie we just saw because it's already out on streaming.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I watched it too.
Was it good?
It was actually decent.
Okay.
It wasn't great because it felt kind of redundant, but there was a different twist on it, which I liked. Kind of a disturbing one. So you should check it out.
Okay.
Because there's a big turn in it that you will not see coming.
Oh, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah. I watched it. One of the 228 I watched on streaming while I was in recovery. But no life here, but so fulfilling. Okay. So, and Heretic comes out November 8th. I'm so excited about that. So, I'll tell you what. Let me do this. We're going to close with just a couple things. I'm trying to see, what do you want to do next, man? We had a few things. We were going to do horror recommendations. We got 6 Degrees.
Well,
oh, yeah, I know what I was going to say. One last thing. I totally forgot. Y'all bear with me. Okay, upcoming films. So many movies I saw I wanted to tell people I wanted to recommend. The Substance, body horror. Wow. I'll just say it. All the stuff. Anyway, Beetlejuice, you still got to see.
Yeah.
Don't listen to anybody. If you're a super fan of the original one, 1988, it's Tim Burton. He's great. Oh, yeah. Hey, we're both sporting Tim Burton, baby. Just noticed that. That's great. It's a Tim Burton horror fest. But Beetlejuice. Saw Wolves on Apple with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Phenomenal. Speak No Evil. I got a scenarios question about that. We got a new segment we're going to introduce in the next episode called Scenarios. It's going to be pretty fun, pretty engaging, and I really want to pick your brain on some of this, Mike. But do not miss the Salem's Lot remake that was on Max. You agree? Great.
Yeah.
Really well done. Woman of the Hour, Anna Kendrick's first directorial debut. It's on Netflix. Really good thriller. I watched Killer's Game, The Crow remake, Garbage, Don't Waste Your Time. How did it even make itself in this episode? End up seeing Blink twice, blah, blah, blah. But I really wanted to get to this. Teacup, horror on Peacock's got some horror going on, man. You need to see Teacup.
All right.
James Wan is behind it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And Hysteria. I finished it. Oh my gosh. But upcoming stuff that I wanted to say that's still coming up this year. Gladiator 2 comes out November 22nd.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, Kraven the Hunter, December 13th, and they showed the newer trailer, more expanded trailer at the beginning before Smile 2 that you missed.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to see it all the more. And the fact that I'm playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 right now, it makes me, I mean, he's in it. He's one of the main antagonists in the Spider-Man 2 game.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to see the movie. It looks really good.
I hope Rhino have a big part in it though.
Oh, it showed it.
Yeah, I know. Show Rhino in there. In the
I
trailer.
mean, it showed more of him.
Oh, it did.
And he looks awesome, dude.
Oh, okay, I'm looking forward to it now.
Oh, it's going to be really good. But then the thing I really want to get to, maybe we can close with this, is you've got Nosferatu, December 25th, Venom Last Dance next week, or this weekend. We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
A Real Pain with Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, Robert Zemeckis here. And then there's a movie coming out, Mike, called The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. And we're going to talk about trauma. This is trauma. This is the theme of the episode. This is the perfect thing to close with, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever is a film. I would say I'd be excited about it because the Erwin brothers, there's some other decent, Christian filmmakers out there, but these guys are the high watermark, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They are really good. I've liked everything they've done. Woodlawn, I Can Only Imagine, I Still Believe. They're just really good. I mean, I love what they do. Their pacing, their shots. I mean, they're really good. The movies, they move you. I can watch their movies and it not feel like, the redheaded stepchild Christian filmmaking, They're really good. They're really good. And I would be excited about it because it's probably going to be a fun family movie, The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. But I will not be seeing it.
Why not? I mean,
I may see it. I don't know.
We should. I mean, something positive for once.
You're right. I need it in my life, don't I? To balance out all this sinister horror and darkness. But
you don't want people talking about, they review is horror movies. Like, no, we're going to do.
Yeah, you know what? We might dedicate that. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a whole lot of trauma attached. Because listen, The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever was a play that I was forced to be in as a child. Not once, but twice. Yes. Forced to be in it. Had a singing part. I think in both times. Both times I did.
Yeah.
Made to sing. Ugh.
How did you hit the notes?
This is how traumatizing it was, Mike. I didn't want to do this. I was nervous. I mean, I guess I didn't come out of my shell and become this sanguine-esque personality, outgoing now, very annoying at times, I'm sure. I didn't become this till later. Then I was very shy. Very shy.
Yeah.
And I had to sing. You have to sing. You have to be in the play. You have to participate. I didn't want to do it, man. I was a nervous guy back then. But I still remember it. It was so traumatizing because it was like, there's a tree in every window. There's a prayer in every heart. I don't remember anything else, but I remember that because that's how it started. I had to sing more than one verse. That's probably how I sang it back then.
What church did you go to?
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Evangel because that's where I went.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I went to Evangel later.
Okay. Yeah, Evangel Assembly guy on High Road.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, folks. Oh my gosh.
It's something else now. It's just, I don't know.
We just had a discovery. Evangel Assembly's where I went from like age 13 or 14 all the way up till I, started being rebellious. You know what I mean? But dude, that's crazy. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's not meant for this episode. Mike and I got to talk about that. That is so crazy. I love it. I love knowing that now. But, so it wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah. I was old enough there to refuse. You ain't gonna put me up on that stage in some dang greatest person. Anyway. So I was made to do that, and it was very traumatizing. Did you ever have to go through that?
Oh yeah. I was in 2 plays.
Really?
Yeah. In one of the plays, I played a judge, and another one, I played a wiseman.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to sing.
You had to sing too?
Yeah.
Dude.
I hit a couple notes.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't about to embarrass myself.
It's crazy. I find out that you had the same, probably wasn't as traumatic for you. Maybe it was, as it was for me, but you had the same trauma, man. I mean, golly. And then I find out you went to the same church as me. We got to talk about that.
Well,
That's
I was
crazy.
forced to do it, though.
You
Because
were
my
forced?
brother, he took the part, and he didn't want to do it. And, it's like, well, we need a black wise man.
Yeah.
So I had to do it.
That's great. Wow, man. Here's the thing, you know, I had all that trauma, you know, and that's not the only one. That's not the worst trauma. The worst trauma was still to come.
Yeah.
Okay, the movie's probably going to be good. I might give it a shot, but
Yeah.
I gotta work through this trauma, you know. So maybe you can therapize me later.
Yeah.
Give me some therapy, whatever. But listen, I gotta say this: the trauma continued. It continued. Okay, I went to Lafayette Park in summer camp when I was younger, and it was great, man.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm talking about the best memories in the world. One of the best parks in Tallahassee. I don't know what it looks like now. I'm sure it's still good, but I'm talking about giant, long tarp slip and slide from the top of the hill all the way down into the creek bed.
Yeah.
I'm talking about with all that. Capture the flag, park wide hide and go seek.
Man.
And then they had themed days. They had themed days. They had a Halloween themed day. Now, I can't remember if it was, because I was in the after school program too.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was actually in October and it was Halloween, close to Halloween, because that would be believable, or if it was actually just one of their themed days, because they had themed days out of season during the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's one of those, but it was Halloween day, and it was bring your best costume. They had candy, haunted house, all kinds of stuff. And listen, my god sister, Dory, she was very big. Hey, Dory. I remember. I don't remember fully, but I know that you dressed me up a lot. She would dress me up. She was good. She was detailed. She's like, I bet she was like, and I'm going to make him look like this is going to be good.
Yeah.
So I was Dracula. I was a young, dapper Dracula, bro. I'm telling you. It was everything. Hair slicked back, had the teeth, the face with the makeup, the cape. I mean, I was proud. I felt like I had vampiric powers, maybe even for a second. Who knows? But this all happening. I don't know who to blame. I don't know. It was a group effort to F the date up from Dory, my godmother, Ducey, and my mom. But let's blame Mom. I'm blaming her because she's the one that drove me there. She's the one that drove me there. So she's going to get the blame for how traumatizing this was. So we go. I'm ready. I'm dolled up, man. Let me tell you. And I go in, and listen, I was there on the wrong day. I came in dressed up as Dracula on the wrong day. And listen, you want to talk about like devastated? It was so bad. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I went in the bathroom and cried all my damn Dracula paint off, man. It was so bad, dude. I was so embarrassed and traumatized.
So you had to spend the whole day like that?
I don't remember what I did. That's how much I probably tucked it down. Everything from the point that I got to the park and realized what it was is kind of a blur. I know that I went in the bathroom and cried. I don't know what happened after that.
Okay.
I hope to God I didn't have to stay Dracula. I don't think they would do that to me. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. I think they took me home and got me in regular dress, but I know Mom felt really bad because I think it wasn't long after that she did the greatest thing ever. Circle back to Tim Burton, who we're sporting right now. Because I'm there. It's summer camp. Probably could have even been the same year. Because it was in the 80s, 87, 88. But 1989, summer of 89, I'm looking up. I'm sitting over there probably waiting to play one of the games next. Tetherball, box hockey, loop tennis. And I see that old blue Oldsmobile come down. I'm like, what in the... child me, 8 or 9-year-old me said, well, what in the hell's Mom doing here? And I didn't say that in my head. Maybe in my head. I didn't know to be that naughty then. But I was like, what is she doing here? She comes down and she gets out. I'm like, what? She's like, you ready to go? I said, for what? She's like, for a surprise. She may have even said for an adventure. I love that about my godmother, my mom, and my family. They used to say, we're going to go on an adventure. So she said, come on. And I came over and I opened the passenger seat and there's a bag there and I pull it out. There it is. Nothing but Batman apparel. Batman shirt, Batman hat, Batman wristbands, because it's the 80s. And I'm like, what is this? She's like, we're going to see it. I'm like, what? Batman. The original Batman, 1989, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger. I mean, wow. Prince on the soundtrack. Come
The
on.
bat dance.
Yeah.
The bat dance.
Oh my gosh.
It
But
sounds terrible.
so that was the offset for all that trauma. I really feel like that made up for my Christmas pageant trauma, my Christmas plays, and it definitely made up. Well, yeah, it made up for the Dracula dressed on the wrong day in a horror costume. But oh my gosh, wow, what an experience! Great memories, man.
Oh yeah.
Tim Burton was the man. We could go on and on, but we're getting tired. So I tell you what, we are. Listen. We had excuse me. Got an indigestion. We had a lot of things like set us back, but we're back on track, folks, and we want you to stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. They're going to be dropping regularly, and we're excited to bring them to you, and we're excited to do the live stream. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But there's been a lot of things like to lead us to this juncture. It's been a confluence of many things, but we've kind of shifted gears and changed our production, and it's just, I don't know, it's really exciting. And we are hoping that this channel will be, I don't know a better word to use than, burgeoning, success.
Yeah.
We want to see it grow, and we appreciate the support. We want you to stay with us, stay tuned. We want to bring you more engaging stuff, and the live streams are going to be great. Don't forget to comment too. Don't just like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell, but we want you to comment. We will respond as well. But we're really excited that you joined us. Go see Smile 2. Go snatch some bags from kids. It's really good to go do it at the church gatherings, the Hallelujah carnivals and festivals. Just snatch some bags. We really endorse that kind of behavior. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But anyway, trick or treating's out. The only trick or treat that I can think of is when I'm trying trick you. Dang it never works. I thought it was going to be a treat for them. Again, horrible. Do you want to try me real quick with 6 degrees? Or you want to close out with this?
I mean, we could try 6 degrees.
Okay. We're going to close with this, folks. And if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, 6 Degrees of Cinematic Celebrities is where we kind of a little iteration of the Kevin Bacon, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's where you can take, the challenge is take 2 actors who have not been in anything, or it's thought that they've not been in anything, not played in anything, and you connect them to each other simply by using other actors they've played in other movies with. They're the links in the chain. So you got to start with this actor and connect them in 6 connections, 6 degrees or less, in under 5 minutes. My challenge is to be doing it in under 3. If you can do it in under 3, you're a master. If you can do it in under 5, you're okay, or you're mid, as they say. You got one?
All right. Drew Barrymore and Tom Cruise.
Oh, I think that's easy. Drew Barrymore and Tom Cruise. Let's go with... Oh, I got it. You ready? Less than 30 seconds. Drew Barrymore was in the, not the original, not the one from the 70s and 80s, but the movie in the 90s, the Charlie's Angels. I think it was late 90s, early 2000s. Charlie's Angels, with Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz. So Drew Barrymore was in that movie, Charlie's Angels, with Cameron Diaz, who was in a really great action comedy with Tom Cruise called Night and Day. And when I say night and day, I mean night and day, like knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Night and Day, you need to get on that, dude. It's a fun movie.
All right.
So you want to check my math on that? That was literally 1. I connected Drew Barrymore to Tom Cruise with 2 movies. Charlie's Angels and Night and Day. And boy, did it feel good to yet be triumphant again. Listen, I'm going to be braggadocious, and hopefully it's not too annoying, but I'm trying to stir you up. I want you to challenge me. I want you to drop one in the comments. I want you to email Mike, email us, or wait for the streaming. Wait for the live streaming, and I'm telling you, you'll be able to challenge me on the spot, and you'll be able to see if this thing is rigged, because I know some of you cynical people out there think that it's rigged, but it's not. I'm just weird. I have a strange memory.
Okay, you say Drew Barrymore was in Charlie's Angel?
Yep. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you check the other one?
Okay, well,
Did you see her in there with Cameron Diaz?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want to check the other one? The people need to know, Mike, that I'm not a cheat.
Okay, and what was the other one?
It was Night and Day.
Okay.
Or if you prefer, Knight and Day. Like I've got a knife for your knee. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah. Cameron Diaz was in Night and Day with Tom Cruise.
So what you're saying is, Brandon, your master yet again. He'll never say it. He thinks he's gonna stump me one day, but
I am.
okay, I like that. Well, you got anything else you want to say, Mike? Anything to our audience or to me?
No, that's it.
Well, I got to tell you, man, it's been a real pleasure. But I won't be smiling for a long time. You can smile. It's not as scary. But anyway, until next episode, folks, thanks for joining us. You can tell I'm getting tired. The Real Cine-Files, signing out.